All right. Let's see what we're gonna do here. How do we? So I want to cover a video on here. Okay, so I have to share the different screen. Switch this to this. No. Wrong. Again. Let's get this. Shut it. Damn, I hate when it does that. All right. It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one. So, all right. So basically, I wanted to cover this video that I saw a while back. Just real shit that nobody thinks about, because it's not their situation. So, I just think about it.
I am really struggling with something and I want to talk about it. But before I do, I need people, if you are a parent who was like touched out by your children, I do not want to see you in the comments. If you are someone with any kind of neurodivergency and it manifests or shows up as you not liking touch or people touching you, I do not want to see you in the comments. But I feel like I'm dying from like touch starvation, y'all. I don't.
Now, who's thought about that? Especially as a woman. That's probably something you never think about. Probably think about the other, right?
This isn't. I don't get hugs. I don't know. I feel like if I were to get the kind of hug that I fucking really want, I would crumble into pieces. How do you deal with that? I really need to be like.
I bet you there's so many more people that deal with this than think other people do too,
Like touched. And I know someone's gonna say like, okay, go to the salon and get your hair done, or get a massage, or get your nails done, right? So someone can hold your hand. None of those people love me. None of those services love me.
Surface level connections.
Right? But I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling with like I don't get hugs. That shit is it could be.
But again, how many women have to deal with that versus how many men do you think would have to deal with that? It's probably more something to it. I'm telling you.
Like maybe a hello, whatever, maybe. But it's not enough. rest of my life like this. I'm just really struggling. I'm really struggling. Like I spent like last night just going like this. Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, think about probably too. Like people do the weighted blanket to mimic the womb, right? This touch thing is probably along those same lines. Being held when you were a kid or whatever, or lack of for some people, right?
I'm just, if anyone else is struggling, what are you doing?
Okay, that is some.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining.
Heavy stuff. And I hate to say this, but I think she is spot on. I think she's really tapped into something that I think we've sort of struggled with. So let's start by understanding a couple things. The first is that this is not a isolated experience. I also think something that a lot of people don't realize is that this is also not like a gendered experience. The other really interesting thing is, even if you talk about some of the stuff around like neurodivergence and people who don't like to be touched, I've heard a lot of.
Well, I say you don't think so, right? But obviously so. As a woman is coming out with it. It makes it a little more strange, I gotta say, though. I don't know.
People who are neurodivergent and don't like to be touched, but are also starved for touch. They're still longing for it. And they're in some ways like in an even trickier situation because their body, and we'll talk about this in a second, needs exactly what everybody else needs, but their somatosensory cortex doesn't even allow them to engage in it. So like what's going on here? So I think what we're seeing, so we've seen that there's a loneliness.
This is a somatosensory cortex
epidemic. Some indicators of mental illness are getting way worse than they ever have before. The percentage of people who have never been in a romantic relationship is rising astronomically. The percentage of people who have never had sexual relations is also rising astronomically.
And tell me this isn't like because the community's gone, right? It's people trying to replace it.
The number of people who have never had a friend or have zero friends is also rising. So I think this is going to be kind of weird. Like we're going to talk about science for a second, but I think this goes like way further than science.
Yep. Uh-oh. Oh. I was tripping about. Hold on just for a second. Gotta stop it for a second. Video tripping.
Further than science. So the first thing is let's talk about the physiology of like touch starvation. And there is a ton of physiology to it. So, and it's not just oxytocin. So there's one hormone that's kind of like our bonding hormone. This is oxytocin. So oxytocin is what's released when we like cuddle with other people. Like when you look at parent-child bonding, and when you like cuddle with something, like you get a spurt of oxytocin. Oxytocin does things like calms down your nervous system, reduces your stress hormone response. It's kind of like inversely proportional. And so like literally a hug makes us feel better. It's not just a subjective experience, it's a physiologic experience. Yeah. These signals are also what allow.
That's the touch, right? The physiological experience or lack of.
Allows us to be in love and to feel love. So when you cuddle with someone, there's oxytocin and you feel love. It creates a loving bond between two people. But it's way more than oxytocin. So there are studies on touch deprivation. And the scary thing is that these studies used to be done in orphans. We used to have to go to an orphanage to find a group of people who were starved for physical touch, and we'd study them, these orphans in Romania. Now, if we want to do a study on touch deprivation, where do we go? The average person. We no longer need to go to orphanages to find people who are starved for touch.
What would you say to somebody that hasn't tried therapy before?
Just ask yourself if what you're doing in your life right now.
If I need to keep watching these stupid ads,
become the norm. So we see changes in cardiovascular outcomes. We even see changes in things like hemoglobin A1C. So people
cardiovascular outcomes. Wow.
Who are starved for touch, their diabetes is worse. We see, of course, changes with things like cortisol, mental health parameters like depression and anxiety. But when a human
figure cortisol be a big part of that too, right? Stress on everything.
Being gets touched, it does way more than oxytocin. And this is what's also interesting. There was one study that took patients and shocked them with electrical shocks. We administered electrical shocks to patients. There were 3 groups of people. One group was by themselves. One group was holding hands with a stranger. Third group was holding hands with a loved one. And the perception of pain, the way that the pain was traveled to the brain, the way it was interpreted by the brain's response to getting electrically shocked changes and is blunted and attenuated by human contact, and especially by human contact from a loved one. It literally makes the experience of life less painful.
Wow.
Like literally. It's not like some it's easy to be, no, like literally there's the perception and response to a simple electrical shock is attenuated by holding hands with a loved one. And what are we?
That's so crazy. How much more of that is in the world, right?
We're seeing worsening like diabetes. We're seeing worsening inflammatory issues. Everyone's going gluten-free and keto diet. Like, why? What's happening with society? Why is everyone so prone to inflammation? Why is everyone so damn starved for touch? There are 2 things that have happened. The first is that our society has become increasingly independent. We've decided that independence is king. And what we should strive for is independence, financial independence, emotional independence.
I say it's a lot, independence to a fault, right? Independence to a fault.
Thought of being interdependent with someone else is something that we call weakness. So if you think about a problem in your life, what does everyone tell you to do with problems in your life? Fix them, right? You should fix it. It's your responsibility. If you're broke, it's your fault. On the flip side, what we'll also do is we'll blame society. And so we'll say it's society's fault that you're broke. And both angles are correct, but both angles are missing something else, which is that when I hear you complain about, oh, you're homeless, that's society's problem or it's your problem. You know whose problem it isn't? It's not mine. It's not mine. So in our strive for independence, each individual in the world has absolved themselves of the responsibility of caring for other human beings because it's society's problem.
Yep. It's the split, right? Make money your God. That's it.
It's the government's problem or it's your problem. You need to go to therapy. You need to get help. You need to start meditating. And by the way, if you need to meditate, guess what? There's an app for that. You can do it all on your own. How is meditation? How did it used to be taught? People used to go to ashrams. They used to sit in a gigantic hall and meditate together. So we've decided that independence is king. We've decided that the needs of the individual surpass the needs of the community. And we've outsourced the needs of the community to institutions like governments. The second thing.
Damn. Welcome to the world. It's tough, man. You know what this is? I see this as Maslow's pyramid, right? Keep fucking with the bottom layers, thinking it's just we can just keep doing it. And eventually it will come out from under itself, you know.
Thing that we've done is technology, and we've decided through technology that we're going to meet all of your needs without needing to interact with another human being. So you want to meet people? There's an app for that. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to leave your 4 walls. You need food? There's an app for that.
Isolation.
You don't have to leave your 4 walls. You don't have to go.
That's right. Isolation.
Talk to another, interact with another human being.
Yeah.
Good God. Now, even if you look at
Fuck
ride
that.
sharing apps, they have an option on ride sharing apps. We are so tired of interacting with other human beings, we can't take a conversation.
Yeah,
So now I can select something on my app that says, don't talk to me. Heaven forbid, you're talking to me? What's wrong with you? You're talking to me?
That is so crazy. People have a button on the app now that says "Don't talk to me." Like at least in my ride sharing and stuff.
I did not invite you to talk to me or interact with me. And heaven forbid that you touch me in any way. When I was training to be a psychiatrist, we had this whole segment on touching patients. And it's a good segment, right? You have to be super careful about when you touch another human being and what that means. And one of my supervisors told me, never touch a patient. It is not allowed within the psychoanalytic. And it's like, that was hard for me. And I listened to them, right? Because there's someone who's crying in your office and like, what do I want to do? I want to give him a hug. But we're not allowed to do that, right? Because they need to manage those emotions on their own. Heaven forbid you hug them. And there's good reasons for that, okay? So it's smart. So I talked to other people, right? And I said, hey, this is hard for me. Help me understand. And they said a lot of brilliant things. So the first question is, if it's hard for you to hug a patient, that's about you. You should never hug a patient because it's hard for you to not hug a patient, because then you're putting yourself ahead of the patient. Brilliant. I shouldn't hug people to make me feel better.
Right.
And if I feel like an asshole for not hugging someone, I should not do something to a patient that alleviates me feeling like an asshole. Brilliant, actually. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. But I also talk to people about, is it okay to hug patients? And sometimes I hug my patients, but there's a way to do it in therapy, right? You talk to them about it. You say, hey, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does this mean for us? We explore what that means. But in the rest of society, we don't touch people anymore. I'm not saying go out there and touch people, but you can invite someone, right? You can ask people hey, you need a hug today? You can do that. And I think this is what's so challenging is then we get into a whole other can of worms, which is a good can of worms, in the sense that it's valid. Because if you go around, you asking people if they want hugs, they're going to call you a creep. They're going to call cops. And so somewhere along the way, we become so independent that touching other people makes us uncomfortable. We don't even know how to do that anymore. And this is what you end up with. A society of people who are disconnected. Because by the way, if you need friends, there's Discord. If you want to talk to someone, you can chat, right? And you know what? I hear your feeling.
How much of this is just doing things at volume though, right?
Down. Let me send you an emoji of two people hugging. That's what we've come to. We've stopped hugging each other.
This is all an attempt to replace community, though.
And we've started sending emojis of people hugging. What the fuck? We've created substitutes for human needs. It's not actually fulfilling the need.
A day that starts with a walk, includes deep work, and ends with friends and a workout.
Get out of here.
It's a substitute. I recently learned that there's a virtual girlfriend app. Don't have a girlfriend? Here you go.
That's
right?
weird.
And now we can get human shaped.
So strange. I hope nobody's really doing that out there, but oof. That's how tough it is. Gonna be in love with the Matrix.
Pillows, and we can even get sexual devices, and we can substitute a relationship in so many different ways. And it's only a matter of time before someone takes ChatGPT and outsources an API to make a virtual girlfriend who adapts to you and learns like a human intelligence.
I've seen some stuff on this recently and talked about it on X. This whole replace a bitch empire. It's forever growing. They're talking about what they have them doing laundry. Had robots doing laundry now.
Substitutes. And why? Because the individual humans today don't want to give people what they need. It's not society. It's each and every one of us. This is what's happening, right? And there are a lot of people out there who are, as we're watching this, are somewhat give that lady a hug. And that's what I felt too. But this is the other problem. It's great that we had that emotional reaction and that she was raw and she shared her experience that resonated with a ton of people. But just think for a second at what it takes to get someone to hug that person. She's literally got to put something on TikTok that explodes. And that's the threshold for human contact. That's the hurdle she has to jump to.
That's what some people got to do to be heard, I guess. Woo! That's an extreme.
Get a hug. We've got to lower the threshold to help other human beings. And so what do we do about this situation? Right? I think it's pretty simple. We've got to be careful about using technology as a substitute for human needs. Can technology be used as a tool to fulfill human needs? Absolutely. But it's crossing the line into substituting and trying to provide the needs in and of themselves. Second thing that we've got to do is we've got to stop blaming people for their problems and stop blaming society for their problems. We've got to start blaming ourselves for other people's problems, which runs completely alien, right? And that's like literally why I started streaming, because I was like, you know what? I can do more for people. It's not about like,
This is leading, by the way.
got frustrated with like certain institutions that are related to my profession, and I thought they weren't doing enough. And
So I say it's a thankless job.
there are like good reasons for that, right? They were like busy with other things like opioid epidemics that were literally killing people. And these were like dormant problems or subsurface, not dormant. And so y'all can, the only way this works, I can't do it by myself.
Right.
I can't even do 1% of the work that needs to be done, because what people need is hugs. Like I can't hug everyone on the planet. I want to. There's a part of me that really wants
Biggest
to.
hug
I
ever.
think it'd be cool. But like I can't do this I can stream on Twitch. I can talk to y'all, but like how close can you and I really get? The only way this works is if we start accepting responsibility, like we as individuals start accepting responsibility for the needs of the human beings around us. And that's hard, because if you start doing that, it can be painful for you. And so that's the core of the problem. Because what's happened in our society is we've decided we move further and further along the road of, if it's painful for me and it benefits someone else, I don't have to do it. And I actually agree with you there. You don't have to do it. No one else is entitled to your sacrifice.
That's called
but that's
leading.
the problem.
That's why it's called leading.
Problem with society is like people are trying to, there's a group of people that's trying to, that feel entitled to the love of others. That's not right. And on the flip side,
oh man, that's a wicked group. People that feel entitled to the love of other people. Oh. Yeah, that's some of it.
if we're not entitled to the love of others, can we still give it? Can we still receive it? Like that's the thing, is like no one is forcing you. I don't think it's fair to force you, but the only way this works is if we actually step up as a group of people and we start caring about other human beings.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's pretty cool. Just wanted to share it, put it out there. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all learned something. Don't be afraid to reach out to the people, you know. Don't be afraid to reach out.